My beloved child, there are moments in life when a single conversation changes everything, and today you are about to witness one of those moments. Don't skip, because every sentence is leading toward something unforgettable. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Imagine a person who believed they had already buried their deepest emotions, someone who convinced themselves that the chapter was over, that the memories had finally become silent. Then, without warning, they heard your name. It wasn't shouted across a crowded room or written across a glowing screen. It was spoken quietly, almost casually, by someone who had no idea how powerful those words would become. In that instant, every carefully built wall began to crack. Every memory they tried to lock away came rushing back with incredible force. They remembered conversations they thought they had forgotten. They remembered laughter that echoed in places they no longer visited. They remembered promises that were never completely erased from their heart. What surprised them most was not the memory itself, it was the realization that the feelings had never truly disappeared. They had simply been waiting beneath the surface, hidden behind daily routines and endless distractions. Don't skip now, because the next part changes everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. As the conversation continued, another unexpected detail emerged. They learned something about the person you have become. They discovered your strength after difficult seasons, your quiet determination, your ability to keep moving forward even when nobody noticed your efforts. The picture they once carried in their mind no longer matched reality. Instead of seeing someone trapped in yesterday, they suddenly saw someone growing into a future filled with purpose. That realization shook them more deeply than they ever expected. It wasn't regret alone. It wasn't sadness alone. It was the overwhelming understanding that time had continued moving, and while they had been looking backward, you had continued becoming someone remarkable. Their emotions became impossible to hide. Every attempt to remain calm slowly disappeared as the truth settled into their heart. Questions began racing through their mind. Had they misunderstood everything? Had they allowed fear to silence words that should have been spoken long ago? Was there still an opportunity to make peace with the past, or had the moment already passed forever? Those questions echoed louder and louder, refusing to leave. Every answer seemed just out of reach, making the silence even heavier. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened next surprised even them. Instead of immediately taking action, they became completely still. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any speech, and this was one of those rare moments. They realized that before any conversation with another person could ever happen, they first needed to face the truth within themselves. For the first time in a long while, they stopped running from their own emotions. They admitted that your story had never truly left their heart. They admitted that hearing about your growth had awakened something they believed was gone forever. And although they still didn't know what tomorrow would bring, one thing had become impossible to ignore. The story they believed had ended was suddenly beginning to feel unfinished. That realization became the turning point they never expected, and as the evening quietly unfolded, they found themselves wondering whether life sometimes creates unexpected opportunities when people least expect them. Don't skip, because this journey is only beginning, and the next chapter may reveal what neither of you ever imagined. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. A quiet realization settled over everything, and that silence became louder than any conversation could ever be. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. While the world continued moving as usual, another chapter was unfolding where nobody else could see it. The person who had just heard about you could not return to the version of life they had accepted only hours before. Every detail they learned continued echoing through their thoughts. They remembered your kindness. They remembered your determination. They remembered the strength you showed when no one noticed. Suddenly, they understood that the story they had convinced themselves to forget had quietly continued without them. That realization became impossible to ignore. Every ordinary moment now carried extraordinary meaning because your name had awakened questions that demanded honest answers. The more they reflected, the clearer one truth became. They had spent so much time assuming they already knew how your story would end that they never imagined it was still being written. They pictured the person you have become, someone shaped by patience, growth, and quiet resilience. Instead of feeling distant, those thoughts drew them closer to memories they believed had disappeared forever. Don't skip. Every second matters. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The biggest surprise was not what they heard about you today. The biggest surprise was what they discovered about themselves. Hidden beneath years of routine was a feeling that had never truly faded. It had simply waited for the right moment to be noticed again. As the evening continued, they found themselves replaying every meaningful conversation they could remember. Certain words suddenly carried new meaning. Certain smiles became unforgettable. Small moments they once overlooked now appeared incredibly important. They wondered whether they had missed opportunities that could never return. Yet another thought entered their heart, one filled not with fear but with hope. What if every chapter, even the difficult ones, had quietly prepared both paths for something neither could understand at the time? That possibility refused to leave their mind. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The more they searched their memories, the more they realized that genuine connections leave lasting impressions. Even after time passes, certain people continue shaping who we become. They understood that hearing about your journey had reminded them that growth is never invisible. Every challenge you overcame had become part of your story, and without realizing it, your quiet progress had inspired someone who believed they had already moved on. That unexpected realization changed the atmosphere completely. Hours passed, but sleep refused to arrive easily. Instead of distractions, they chose reflection. Instead of avoiding difficult emotions, they finally accepted them. Questions slowly transformed into understanding. Understanding slowly transformed into appreciation. Appreciation slowly transformed into a quiet determination to stop taking meaningful moments for granted. They knew they could not change yesterday, but tomorrow still held possibilities that had not yet been written. That thought became brighter with every passing minute. Don't skip now because the next chapter grows even more unexpected. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Imagine discovering that a single piece of encouraging news about someone could completely reshape your own perspective. That is exactly what happened. Hearing that you continued growing despite every obstacle reminded them that people are capable of extraordinary change. They no longer focused on what had been lost. Instead, they began wondering what could still be learned, appreciated, and respected in the future. Their heart became calmer, but also more awake than it had been in a very long time. They quietly smiled, not because every question had been answered, but because hope had returned in a place where certainty once seemed impossible. That hope did not promise immediate answers. It simply reminded them that meaningful stories are rarely finished when people assume they are. Sometimes life waits until the perfect moment before revealing another page. Sometimes the most important chapter begins after everyone believes the ending has already arrived. And sometimes, hearing one unexpected truth about another person's journey becomes the beginning of a transformation that neither side could have predicted. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next part of this journey will uncover another layer of the mystery, one that neither you nor they could have imagined at the beginning of this story. Every moment has been leading toward that discovery, and the path ahead is about to become even more unforgettable. There was one detail they could not escape, and the more they tried to ignore it, the more powerful it became. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Long after the conversation had ended, your name continued echoing in their thoughts. It was no longer just a memory. It had become a question that demanded an answer. They walked through the rest of their day surrounded by ordinary people and ordinary conversations, yet everything felt different. Every familiar place suddenly reminded them that life can change because of one unexpected moment. They realized that hearing about your journey had quietly awakened a part of themselves they believed had disappeared forever. The greatest surprise was not that they remembered you. The greatest surprise was how clearly they remembered every meaningful moment. Tiny conversations they once overlooked suddenly felt unforgettable. Small acts of kindness became impossible to ignore. They realized that the moments they once considered ordinary had actually become the strongest memories they carried. They wondered how something so simple could remain so powerful after so much time. That question stayed with them wherever they went, refusing to fade away. Don't skip. Every second matters. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. As they continued reflecting, another realization slowly unfolded. They had spent so much energy focusing on what they could not control that they forgot to appreciate what had quietly shaped them. Hearing about your growth reminded them that people are always becoming something greater than yesterday. Your resilience, your patience, and your quiet determination had become part of a story they never expected to admire so deeply. Suddenly, they understood that true change often happens silently, long before anyone notices it. That evening, they paused before making another decision. Instead of rushing forward, they allowed themselves to sit with every emotion. The silence no longer felt empty. It felt meaningful. Every passing minute revealed another piece of understanding. They realized that genuine admiration is not built in a single moment. It grows through countless memories that remain long after the days themselves have passed. They smiled quietly, not because every question had been answered, but because they finally understood why your name still carried such extraordinary meaning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then something happened that completely changed the direction of their thoughts. Someone shared another small detail about your recent journey. It was not dramatic. It was not loud. Yet it carried remarkable weight. They learned that you had continued choosing kindness, hope, and perseverance even when life became challenging. That simple truth affected them more deeply than they could explain. It reminded them that true character is revealed not during easy moments, but during difficult seasons when nobody is watching. They began wondering how many opportunities life quietly creates without anyone recognizing them. What if certain meetings, conversations, and unexpected moments are not random at all? What if they exist to remind people of lessons they almost forgot? Those questions became impossible to ignore. Instead of looking backward with regret, they started looking forward with curiosity. For the first time in a long while, tomorrow felt full of possibilities rather than uncertainty. Don't skip now because the story is reaching another unforgettable turning point. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Every chapter until now has been preparing for a realization that changes everything. They finally accepted that hearing about you today had done far more than stir old memories. It had transformed the way they viewed themselves. They no longer wanted to live with assumptions. They wanted to live with gratitude, honesty, and appreciation for meaningful connections that leave lasting impressions. As the night grew quieter, they looked toward the future with a renewed sense of hope. They understood that remarkable stories are rarely built through dramatic moments alone. They are shaped by patience, quiet growth, and unexpected reminders that arrive exactly when they are needed most. The news they heard about you became one of those reminders. It encouraged reflection instead of fear, gratitude instead of regret, and hope instead of doubt. That single conversation had become the beginning of an entirely new perspective. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter will reveal another unexpected piece of this remarkable journey, one that brings even greater clarity and leaves an unforgettable impression long after the story continues. By the time the next morning arrived, nothing looked different on the outside, yet everything had changed within. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The thoughts that began with a single conversation had now become impossible to silence. They replayed every word they had heard about you, searching for meaning they had overlooked before. The more they reflected, the more they realized that your journey had become far greater than they had ever imagined. It was no longer simply about memories. It was about discovering that time had quietly shaped both of your stories in ways nobody could have predicted. Every unanswered question became another reason to keep searching for understanding. As they looked back, they noticed something remarkable. Every challenge they once believed had ended the story had actually prepared them to see everything with fresh eyes. The disappointments that once felt permanent now appeared to be lessons. The silence that once seemed empty now carried wisdom. Even the distance that had separated two different paths suddenly revealed a deeper purpose. They realized that growth often happens when no one is watching, and today's unexpected news about you proved exactly that. It reminded them that people can become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate without the world ever noticing. Don't skip. Every moment is building toward something unforgettable. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. They quietly wondered how many times life had placed important opportunities right in front of them without either person recognizing their value. Perhaps the greatest moments are rarely loud. Perhaps they begin with a single realization that changes the way someone sees the entire past. That thought remained with them throughout the day, becoming stronger with every passing hour. The most surprising discovery was not about you. It was about themselves. They finally admitted that hearing your story had awakened hope where uncertainty once lived. They stopped asking, "What if everything is over?" and started asking, "What if this is only the beginning of a completely different chapter?" That simple change in perspective transformed everything. The future no longer felt closed. It felt unwritten. Every possibility seemed brighter because they understood that meaningful stories continue growing long after people assume they have reached the final page. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then another unexpected detail reached them. It was a simple reminder of the person you had become through patience, determination, and quiet resilience. That reminder left a lasting impression because it showed that genuine character is revealed over time, not through dramatic moments but through consistent choices made day after day. They felt inspired rather than discouraged. Instead of dwelling on yesterday, they found themselves appreciating the remarkable person you had become through your own journey. They stepped outside and noticed ordinary things with extraordinary clarity. The morning breeze felt different. The familiar streets seemed filled with new possibilities. Even the smallest moments carried unexpected meaning. It was as though hearing about you had reminded them that life continues offering new beginnings to those willing to recognize them. Every ordinary moment now whispered the same quiet message: never assume the story has already reached its ending. Don't skip. Every sentence matters. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. The realization grew stronger with every passing moment. They understood that the most meaningful connections are remembered not because they are perfect, but because they inspire growth, gratitude, and hope. Your story had become exactly that, a reminder that courage and kindness leave impressions that time cannot easily erase. They carried that realization with them, knowing it would influence every decision they made moving forward. As the day slowly came to a close, they no longer searched for certainty. Instead, they embraced possibility. They accepted that not every answer arrives immediately, but every meaningful journey reveals itself one step at a time. The news they heard about you had become far more than an unexpected conversation. It had become the beginning of a personal transformation they never expected to experience. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter will uncover the final pieces of this remarkable story, revealing how one unexpected moment can inspire hope, reflection, and a completely new understanding of what truly matters. The greatest surprise has not been revealed yet, and the journey is about to reach its most unforgettable turning point. Everything had been leading to this moment, yet neither of them could have imagined how quietly the biggest turning point would arrive. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. After everything they had heard about you, they finally stopped searching for signs in the past and started paying attention to the present. That simple decision changed everything. They realized that some of the most meaningful discoveries are not dramatic at first. They begin with a quiet shift in perspective that slowly transforms the entire story. The news they received about you had done exactly that. It reminded them that people are capable of incredible growth, remarkable resilience, and unexpected wisdom. Instead of remembering only who you once were, they began appreciating who you had become. As the hours passed, another realization quietly emerged. They understood that every meaningful connection leaves behind lessons that continue shaping people long after circumstances change. They no longer viewed your story as something distant. They viewed it as proof that hope can continue growing even through uncertainty. Every challenge you had overcome became evidence that determination always leaves a lasting impression. Every step of your journey reflected quiet courage, and that courage inspired them more deeply than they could explain. Don't skip. Every word is leading somewhere important. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly they recognized something they had never noticed before. The reason today's conversation affected them so deeply was not because it reopened old memories. It was because it revealed how much both lives had changed through time. Growth had happened quietly, patiently, and consistently. Looking back, they realized that every difficult chapter had prepared them to appreciate the value of kindness, honesty, and genuine connection. That understanding brought an unexpected sense of peace. For the first time in a long while, they stopped asking whether the past could be rewritten. Instead, they focused on becoming the best version of themselves today. They realized that remarkable stories are built one decision at a time. Every act of patience matters. Every moment of gratitude matters. Every choice to continue moving forward matters. The conversation about you had become a reminder that meaningful change often begins inside the heart before anyone else can see it. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They looked toward tomorrow with renewed hope. They no longer carried the weight of assumptions. Instead, they carried appreciation for every lesson that had shaped their journey. They understood that life often reveals its greatest surprises through quiet moments rather than dramatic announcements. The news they heard about you was one of those moments. It reminded them that every chapter has value, every season teaches something important, and every experience contributes to a larger story that is still unfolding. As they reflected one final time, they realized that your story had become more than a memory. It had become an inspiration. It encouraged them to believe in growth instead of fear, possibility instead of limitation, and gratitude instead of regret. That single conversation had quietly transformed their outlook, proving that even ordinary days can carry extraordinary meaning when viewed through a different perspective. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. If there is one message hidden throughout this entire journey, it is this: never underestimate the power of quiet growth. The strongest transformations are often invisible until the moment they become impossible to ignore. Sometimes one unexpected conversation changes the way a person sees yesterday. Sometimes it changes the way they approach tomorrow. And sometimes it reminds them that hope is never as far away as it seems. The story does not end with certainty about the future. It ends with something even more meaningful, a renewed sense of purpose, appreciation, and hope. The greatest revelation was never a dramatic secret. It was the realization that people can grow beyond their fears, learn from every season, and carry forward the lessons that truly matter. That is the discovery that remains long after the conversation is over, and it is the reason this unforgettable journey continues to resonate long after the final words have been spoken. A single unexpected truth continued echoing long after the conversation had ended. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What seemed like an ordinary day had quietly become the beginning of a remarkable turning point. The more they reflected on everything they had learned about you, the more they realized that life has a way of revealing its greatest lessons when they are least expected. They stopped trying to understand every detail at once and simply allowed themselves to appreciate how much both of your stories had changed through time. It was no longer about holding on to the past. It was about recognizing the incredible growth that had taken place without anyone announcing it. As they looked out the window, the world appeared exactly the same, yet their perspective had completely changed. Familiar places reminded them that every person is carrying a journey nobody else can fully see. They thought about your resilience, your quiet determination, and your ability to continue moving forward one step at a time. Those thoughts inspired something unexpected inside them. Instead of wondering what could have been different, they began appreciating everything that had shaped the present moment. Sometimes the greatest transformation is not found in dramatic events. Sometimes it is discovered in the quiet realization that every challenge has prepared us for greater wisdom. Don't skip. Every sentence is leading toward something unforgettable. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. Another thought slowly formed in their heart. They realized that hearing about your journey had reminded them of something they had almost forgotten, that hope has an extraordinary way of returning when people least expect it. Hope does not always arrive with loud celebrations. Often it appears gently, encouraging people to believe that meaningful chapters are still waiting to be written. That realization became stronger with every passing hour. They remembered moments when they had doubted themselves, moments when the future felt uncertain, and moments when giving up would have seemed easier than continuing. Yet hearing how your story had unfolded reminded them that perseverance quietly changes people from the inside out. Every obstacle overcome becomes part of a stronger foundation. Every lesson learned becomes part of a wiser future. They smiled, understanding that remarkable growth often happens long before anyone notices its results. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Then they understood the greatest surprise of all. The conversation they heard about you had never been meant to bring fear or regret. It had become an invitation to see life differently. It encouraged gratitude over disappointment, courage over hesitation, and possibility over doubt. That unexpected shift became the true turning point of the story. They realized that some of life's most valuable moments are not about changing the past but about changing the way we move into the future. The evening became peaceful as they accepted that not every answer arrives immediately. Some journeys reveal their purpose little by little, rewarding patience instead of urgency. They no longer searched for certainty in every detail. Instead, they embraced the beauty of continuing forward with hope, kindness, and appreciation. Every chapter, whether joyful or challenging, had contributed something valuable to the person they were becoming. Don't skip. Every moment matters. Stay till the end because something huge is waiting for you. As the stars appeared overhead, one final realization settled into their heart. Life is filled with unexpected reminders that meaningful connections can inspire growth even across time and distance. The greatest discoveries are not always hidden inside dramatic secrets. Often they are found in quiet moments of reflection that inspire someone to become wiser, kinder, and more grateful than they were before. And so the journey continued, not with every mystery solved, but with something even more lasting. Renewed hope, quiet confidence, and the understanding that every meaningful story continues one choice at a time. The biggest revelation was never simply what they heard about you. It was what that moment awakened within them, a deeper appreciation for growth, a greater respect for resilience, and the courage to believe that tomorrow can always become the beginning of an extraordinary new chapter.